You people said you wanted to go to the Underdark next.
Before we go to the Underdark, I have one other piece of business.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to do however many weeks of downtime you want to do before embarking. Like, we don't have to go right away, but we're going to fast forward. That gold. Yeah, we're gonna. How much time do you guys want to take before you embark on this expedition? You have fairly good relations with Afal and Shallow Scale. You have terrible relations with Zolog's butchers, who are the orcs in the area. You have the job that Adrex signed a contract to do. You have the option of doing that now or waiting until you come back from the Underdark. But I will let you guys.
What job is this?
Oh, you weren't here for this.
You started this.
Yeah,
I probably did. I think it's something with those giants, right?
Yes.
Yep.
But I didn't sign any contracts.
No, Adrex did.
It's much smarter than that.
Adrex signed it. It was a very long contract that rolled out onto the ground and across the room, and it was in a language that he couldn't read, and he still signed it.
Birdie got a hat out of it, though. It was neat.
I mean, you still have the hat. It's not
the hat is still sitting on his head. Like that's
Seems that's coming apart a little bit.
So what did Raazu want some time to do before embarking?
Well, I mean, this is just basically just kind of a character moment. But so now that she doesn't like have any pressing issues, like the way she's like, she doesn't see herself on duty anymore, at least for the time being. So you see her kind of let her hair down a little bit in a Sarah Fall.
Okay.
Beach episode.
A little beach episode, not quite. But she spends her nights in the tap house at the in a Sarah Fall, and she also wants to try the herb that these guys grow too.
Okay, so
the idea that I'm going for is like she's not like if she was a mercy killer before, she's kind of leaning more towards a sensate now.
So conquest does in fact sleep.
Yes.
It's not justice.
Alright, so do we want to go down the list to do some downtime actions?
What were we thinking, like a week of downtime?
How much you guys want to take? It's your adventure.
Well, who wants to help Adrex sort this Italian job out?
I will tell you at this point. Well, Adrex's job, like, that's an adventure.
Okay.
That's not something you're going to do during downtime. That's an actual planned adventure with a dungeon and combat. And I didn't prep it because you guys said you were going to do it after coming back from the Underdark.
That's what I thought we said.
Yes.
We did promise that.
But
on the other hand, I thought it was really funny to just...
We did that to my DM last night.
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble? Did you get in trouble?
No, I felt bad, but...
And if you're the DM, just TPK. Problem solved.
Easy done.
All right, fine. Then I'm playing as the Giants.
I will give you my word that I'm not holding anything in my back pocket. Like, oh, if you guys take 4 weeks, haha, something terrible happens. Like, take as much as you need to do downtime stuff.
Well, I would like to brew up some potions, but that's going to take a variable amount of time depending on my dice rolls. So I don't know what everyone else wants to do, but Red's going to be spending his time.
I do have one question. I do have one question about the pig people. Did all the rangers come back? Because I think we were missing one, right?
Yes, they were at Shallow Scale, and one of them was with Hans House people, and you brought them back. They have begun engaging in training along with the soldiers you brought back. Soldiers are useful, but what they really need are hunters and scouts. So there's some cross-training happening there.
Okay.
So, Red, you're going to be brewing potions for your downtime activity. Does anybody else have something they want to do during downtime?
Yeah, learning cooking, as always.
Wendy?
Ross is going to start picking up the Mokten language.
Birdie is going to try and get the wand of Flame Arrow back, even though we kind of gave away their wand. We're gonna gloss over that.
Wand of Flamaro.
You're just gonna gloss over the. Hey, we gave away your wand. Can we have ours back?
Well, we technically traded the wand for all of these Moakden, so I think they got the better end of the deal.
Is that the
He's
case?
not
Is that the case you're making?
Yeah.
Make a charisma check. Call
Or
charisma
if you want to
persuasion.
make this case before they come back to town, make a stealth check.
17.
17. All right, you go ahead and add your flame arrow wand back on the sheet.
And then I'm going to spend the rest of the time just identifying all the goodies that we got. Starting with the scrolls, however many of them I have time to identify.
And what's Adrex doing?
Nice.
Are people going to help train the rangers and the soldiers? Did I hear someone want to do that?
Heard that was on you.
Are you going to help with that? Are you going to assist in that?
Yeah.
You should have waited on the hand axe.
Birdie
He
is
wants to start making some brew.
Birdie is swiftly becoming a Swiss Army Kobold.
He's got brewer supplies, and Adrex brew sounds like needs to start happening.
Alright, no, you can't call it Adrex Brew. You have to come up with a good name for it.
You're right, but the first iteration is probably just going to be Adrex brew.
I bet Brick Road would give you a blip if you came up with a bottle name for it.
It's a pale ale.
Windy, you're spending the time cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So how long until her cooking confers buffs?
It will never confer buffs unless she uses magical ingredients.
No.
Hey man,
Oh,
I learned some of that
get the
Feywild.
reference, but yeah.
I learned some of that Feywild cooking. We don't know that. I don't know magical ingredients yet.
Just make a
Red.
nice stew with a potion
Yeah.
of healing base.
Go ahead and make the rules for the potions you're trying to create.
How long are we taking for downtime, guys?
Week.
How long do you need?
I'll take as long as you can give me.
Let's start with a week, yeah.
Start with a week and then tell us if you need 2 or 3. You're in charge of the time.
Okay. This will take me a minute because these rules make you roll a lot of dice.
Wendy, how much longer do you need before your cooking training is complete?
I need 6 more weeks.
6 more
Not
weeks.
counting this week.
Okay. Don't worry about expending gold for this training. You're doing it amongst the Moakden.
Alright. we
Give
finally
me
get going.
1 more week.
Alright, so 2 more weeks, so I'm at 4 weeks then, Rekra.
Okay. I mean, you're tracking that, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Raazu, you've started learning Moakden?
Yeah.
It's going to take 10 work weeks minus your intelligence modifier.
-0.
So you've got 2 weeks into learning Moakden. You need 8 more work weeks at training this.
Sure.
Adrex.
Yes, sir. What do you need from me? Get the dice right here.
Let me see here. What kind of roll do I want to call this? Let's call it a strength athletics.
Okay, sir, you got it. Strength athletics. Ew. No.
You're blipping this roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm blipping this roll.
Got it.
That's much better. That's much more Adrex. That is a 22.
22. You don't make any wages for this work. But you instill a strong sense of confidence in the Moncton where there wasn't one before. There were still a lot of trepidation amongst the town of what will happen to the city with the apple border gone. But with your tutelage and your experience in fighting orcs in particular, you're able to show these rangers and these soldiers a thing or two.
Excellent.
So
now, how much more time do I get? Because my follow-up is there's also a lizardman village that's kind of apprehensive. Why not teach them too?
You doubt they would be open to that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to go back to their reclusive lifestyle now that Huyan is gone.
Fair enough.
So you spent those 2 weeks training them up. Birdie, what are we identifying here?
Scroll E and F. And after that, I would like to spend the rest of the time. Are they going to be researching those apples at all?
You're going to spend the rest of the time working on the apples?
Yeah, if they'll let me.
Okay.
They don't exactly trust me a lot with things.
Go ahead and roll to identify scroll E.
Don't eat them.
Okay. Let's see. That is a 20. That's like a 24.
This is a scroll of scatter. Scatter is one of the spells in Xanathars, by the way.
Okay.
And this might be the highest level spell scroll you've gotten so far. Kind of a silly level 6 spell, but it is a scroll of scatter. Go ahead and make the check for scroll F.
That's a goofy spell.
20. Yeah, 24.
This is a scroll of spiritual weapon. Basically summons the weapon that you can then send around to beat things with. Any other identifying we're doing?
If I've got time to do that, then I'll do the Yuan-ti, but if not, then I'll just apply it whatever time left to the apples. Because this is probably the last chance we're going to get to look at them before we go off.
Ever identify Wand C?
Wand
of water breathing I have it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got time to do both D and E. How many charges are we going to expend from Wand D?
One charge
One
for
charge?
both of them, just so you know.
Okay, go ahead and make the check for Wand D.
Okay.
This is the chalky one which seeps water.
All right, so that is a 15.
15?
Yep.
This is a Wand of Create Water. It's the Create and Destroy Water spell. You can only use the Create Water portion of it. It currently has 4 of 5 charges. It regains a d4 minus 1 charges at the end of every long rest. And how many charges from Wand E? This is the one you got from Huyan.
1.
Okay, go ahead and make that roll.
And that is a 22.
22. This is a Wand of Earthbind. This spell's also in Xanathars. Currently has 1 of 5 charges. It gains a d4 minus 3 charges at the end of every long rest. Minimum of 0. So basically it has a 25 chance of gaining a charge at the end of each rest.
Do they get charges for this rest?
By the time you set out for your next adventure, we will just say they've been charged back up.
Okay, cool.
So you took.
All right.
You identified 4 things. So that gives you 3 days in the first week plus. So okay, you've got 10 days to work with the apple seeds, the stuff you brought back from the tree.
Yep.
Make 10 intelligence. Well, I'll tell you what. Make You've got 10 rolls to make. You have to split them up between Intelligence Arcana and Intelligence Nature. You get to decide how many of each roll you're making.
It doesn't matter. They have the same.
You're making
modifier.
this so much less fun for me.
They have the same modifier. I'm sorry.
I still need to know.
Let's do 5 and 5.
I still need to know which ones you're making though.
Okay, we'll do 10 rolls.
You got 10
we'll
rolls
say,
total.
We'll say these 5 are Arcana.
So you're doing 5
Yes.
and 5?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make the rolls and just kind of notate them quietly to yourself. I'm going to come back to you after we finish up with Red here.
Rick, I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the max amount of charges on the water breathing wand? I have it at 4 right now.
I don't think we knew. We didn't know.
Well, if you identified it, you know.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a maximum of 5 charges.
Alright, so it's at 5 now, because we'll just dunk it in some water.
Right. It gains a d4 charges at the end of a long rest, provided it spent that rest submerged in naturally flowing water.
Yep.
And Red, what kind of potions are we making, bro?
So over the course of the 2 weeks, I was able to make 1 Essence of Ether, 1 Drow Poison, and make 96 out of 250 gold pieces progress towards a Poison of Malice.
Oh, so when you said potions, you meant poisons.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought I said poisons.
So what are those?
So Red spends the entire time of the rest in and out of a Serafal, his hands always stained with various animal blood or viscera or plant substances.
And Wendy just thinks he's been out there cooking the whole time. Okay.
And I linked all those poisons in the group chat.
Just go ahead and give a brief rundown of the ones you finished. What did they actually do?
Sure. The Drow contact, or the Drow injury poison will, that one in front of me, makes the target has to take a DC 13 con save after being infected with it. If they fail, they're poisoned. If they fail by 5 or more, they're also unconscious for the duration. It lasts for 1 hour.
Okay.
That would have been useful against Tuyon.
And then the Essence of Ether is inhaled. If they fail, all creatures that are exposed to it have to make a DC 15 con save. If they are failed, they are poisoned for 8 hours. The poisoned creatures are also unconscious for the duration.
That's rude.
But that's like a powder. They have to inhale that.
It as an action, I spread it within a 5-foot cube.
Okay.
Holding a breath is ineffective since membranes, tear ducts, and other parts of the body will still conduct the poison.
All right, Birdie.
Uh-huh.
Nature checks. DC 15. How many successes do we have?
5.
5. And Arcana checks. DC 15.
5.
Nice.
Wow.
Always roll 7.
Party nerd.
Let me bring a Serafal back up here. Just get rid of all this stuff. So there's bad news and good news. The bad news is that, I mean, the tree's going to take a long time to grow and needs to be tended to by a fey creature during that time. The good news is you're pretty sure Josiah and his sister have lived in the Feywild for so long that they could fill this role. So you spend the week putting together very, like, complicated, detailed instructions on how to properly plant this tree, where it needs to sit in the village, how it needs to be tended to, various rituals that they're going to have to tend to. You identify a list of herbs and poultices and things that they're going to have to range for out beyond the village. But within a generation, you think you can get this apple tree growing in town again.
Bully.
And they all trust the little kobold who's been stealing them blind.
Birdie points over there and says, "I want my statue there."
Just carve the tree into the shape of Birdie.
That's an example of something they shouldn't do if they want this tree to actually bear fruit.
They don't know that.
All right, last call before we start heading over to the Underdark.
How 3 sheets to the wind is Raazu when she tries this stuff that they grow?
When she starts smoking the ooks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty psychedelic. You find it very enjoyable.
I'm for some reason.
I'm assuming you're not taking it with you to start smoking every day. We're not going to have a very special episode where...
No.
It's an intervention.
Everyone tells
Raazu, you just don't do anything anymore.
Can I get
I'm a little late for the 420 joke, but there it is.
Can I ask for the potion E that they wouldn't let me drink the one time? I pushed my luck.
No, you spent your first few days identifying what you had, and the rest of the time working on the apple tree.
Oh well. I did my good deed.
All right. So you guys are going to head back to investigate the cave where you first met the hangman.
Do good deeds count if you do them by accident?
No. No.
How was that by accident?
Because you just wanted to investigate the apples.
Okay, that's fair. Did I learn anything like applicable from the apples?
Oh man.
I mean, that's a legitimate question.
Applicable.
Nodal, you're a criminal. Stop being a criminal.
Whatever.
I mean, you learned how to properly use these seeds in particular types of soil to grow a tree that will bear fruit that will have the effect that you saw in the Afal previously.
That's not what I was hoping to get, but okay, thank you.
What were you hoping?
You learned how to turn them into a bomb.
I was hoping to learn how to become invincible.
That's...
Just casual ask.
Birdie has high hopes, okay?
Ironic.
Go sit in the corner.
I think we lost some chits or something because we don't have any
I'm losing my chit right over here.
any dudes.
I think those are our initiative tokens that you're moving.
I fixed it.
Yeah. Congratulations on fixing it.
Thanks, Prickred.
You come back to find the empty cave. The rest of the wyvern corpse has long since rotted away. And there was
still
passage behind the waterfall.
Still an orc skeleton hanging from a tree outside.
At this point, it's just a frayed rope with a pile of orc bones laying on the ground with the grasses growing up around it.
It has been 100 years.
It's only been a year. Come on now.
108 years. Sorry.
A stands for
Look to Birdie and say, "Aren't you the king of excavation here?"
Birdie whips out his shovel, and it's underwater,
Slaps him
right?
on the shoulder.
Birdie's excited. This is like his favorite thing to do is dig holes, right? So I'm going to use the wand of water breathing on myself and go dig a hole underwater.
Okay, so you're going to use the wand of water breathing. Now,
Birdie's never done that before.
It kind of looks like a waterfall on the map. It's actually water seeping up from the ground and flowing outward. So you find the passage where the water was coming up. How far do you go?
As far as I can, safely.
And there's a few places where you have to use your shovel to dislodge a rock. I mean, you would be able to sneak through this tunnel fairly easily. But you're pretty sure your larger comrades will need more room. So you spend some time down there doing this work. What are the rest of you doing up top?
I'll go down there to help him out because I'm really curious as to what breathing water feels like, and this wand can water breathe more than one person at once.
Yes.
I was about to ask if water breathing affects pretty much all of us, doesn't it?
10 people.
Yeah, it's the water breathing spell.
And I'm extremely curious as to how breathing water feels.
How does it feel?
It's uncomfortable.
Wet.
This is how you get pneumonia.
What is the
It's
light
like-
situation in the cave?
It's kind of like flying, I guess, if you don't have wings.
Rose is keeping a watch on her 6. Oh, did Adrex say that?
Adrex asked, "What's the light situation?"
Yeah.
There is no light.
Ugh.
The dim light torch burns underground, right? Underwater, I mean.
Oh yeah, it works just fine.
Yeah, so that's what we're using to like kind of do our excavations.
Okay, so is Adrex staying back up in the cave, or is he going down in the water with... At the entrance to the cave where there still is light?
Yeah.
So, Birdie, how
Is-
far do you go?
Well, what does it look like? If I remember correctly, you said it was just kind of like loose stones and stuff, kind of.
At first, yes, but you get through that, and now you're moving along this underground tunnel through which this river, which starts out maybe 10 feet wide, but it gets wider in some places and narrower in others. It never gets incredibly deep, and there are lots of pocket places where you can poke your head up out of the water into just this little pocket of air. But
I mean,
after a few minutes of travel, there are no physical obstructions in your way.
oh, okay. Well, as long as I have created a hole big enough for everybody to squeeze through, and as long as Wendy's following me, I don't mind going forward.
Okay, what about Raazu staying in the cave? Red and Adrex are all three of you are in the cave still?
Hey, Adrex, do you want to go check the area immediately around the cave for tracks from orc patrols while we're waiting for them to dig this out?
Yeah, that is a
You
thing.
got a better
I
eye for tracks than I do.
I'm gonna do that.
Birdie and Windy make a strength saving throw.
Ooh. So I actually am pretty good at these. I didn't realize monks have strength saves.
I made it.
It's weird.
10
10?
on the.
Oof, that's a 1 though. So
Okay.
4.
So, Birdie, you become aware of... I mean, the sound of water is all around you. It's not... It's like gurgling water, but it's not rushing water. It seems to be kind of seeping out of the earth here. It's not like flowing from a waterfall, but you do hear a waterfall. The very haunting echo of it. Very difficult to tell which direction, because, I mean, you're underground, and sound is kind of coming at you from every direction. But before it's too late for you to do anything, you realize you're poking your head out of one of these little air pockets, just trying to get your bearings, and you realize there is water clambering down from above. And you realize you've passed some kind of, like, pivot point. The water falls down from here and then flows off in both directions. One heading out towards the entrance you came, and one heading very, very swiftly deeper into the hole. And you both try futilely to swim against this very sudden current and are swept away. Back in the cave,
Good thing we have a light source.
the two of you, or the three of you, Raazu's there too, you find no signs of orc patrols in the area. Looks like nobody's been back to this cave since you guys fought the Drake. But an hour goes by. 2 hours go
Yeah,
by.
they've been gone too long.
The sun
Go
begins
down.
to set.
Yeah, no. What? Hour goes by and there's no sign of them? Come on now.
Water walking lasts like 8 hours, does it not?
Water breathing? Yeah, it lasts
Yeah.
for a while.
I think they both do,
Yes.
actually. I misspoke, but yeah, I think they both last forever.
So down we go.
Yeah,
Well,
someone
water
blast
breathing
me with
lasts for a full day.
Yeah, it does. All right. And
that- Someone blast me with that one. I'm gonna go down.
You already got blasted with
so
it.
how long
Nice.
do you guys wait? 1
An
hour,
hour.
2 hours? 1 hour before
I
you
would
go
say
down?
an hour. Yeah.
And all three of you are going?
Yep.
You see the work in some areas. I mean, we're right here at the entrance of this gravelly place where Birdie had to work to make the opening big enough. And you guys squeeze through. It's a little difficult for the three of you to move in this space. You can see where Birdie has cut rocks loose from the wall and collapsed large clumps of soil out of the way, and in a few places even cut through these long meandering roots from some plant on the mountainside. And yeah, let's get that strength save from the three of you as well.
Oh, well. Adrex is good at strength saves.
You get a +3 because Raazu's there.
Oh.
Is this against magic or a spell?
It is not.
I love how you
Sorry, I have
ask.
to ask every time.
I love how you ask that, and it never is. Not
26.
once.
I kind of feel bad too because in this campaign, it's like never gonna be against a spell.
That'd be a 5 with the.
Did you get the plus? Did you get the
Yes,
plus
I
3
did.
from Raazu? Okay. Wow.
Yes. You can see that too on the
26.
table.
It's a 25 for Raazu.
So Raazu and Adrex passed.
Mhm.
Okay. All 5 of you take 26 points of bludgeoning damage. If you pass the strength save, you can cut that in half. As this current just grabs you guys and whips you through the earth, and you are banged against rocks. And bruised. Windy and Birdie, you land in... you flow for what seems like way longer. You can't imagine how deep you must have gotten. But you land smack into a dark pool of water somewhere. Just cold water. It doesn't feel terrible. You're relatively sure it's not just a giant gelatinous cube.
Wait, land? Was that falling damage?
No, that was the damage of battering you against the sides of the
Oh,
pool.
okay, 'cause I was gonna say.
I decided against falling damage because you fell into a pool of water. And so the two of you were down there for a little while. I mean, that's quite a bit of damage for a little rogue. So
Yeah, I've got like 7 hit points left
what is your immediate plan when you guys hit this water?
to lay there and cry.
Right now, all you've got around you is you're in a pool of water. You're just treading. You have no idea how deep it is. Your feet don't touch the bottom from the surface. And you've just got this little pool of light illuminated from Windy's blue torch.
I'm gonna try to get a handle on how high up the cave we're in is.
Okay.
Do I have enough room to fly up there?
When you hold the torch up above your head, you can see the hole that you fell out of. It can't be more than 10 or 12 feet above your head. So you're in this very wide expanse with a very low ceiling and the deep water below you.
Alright, in that case, so it's all just water here?
Yeah, and it's trickling out of this hole. If you could get the 10 or 12 feet up, you might be able to climb back into it, but you'd be climbing a slippery surface and trying to fight the current all the way back.
Yep. So I'm gonna assume the others are gonna come after us, because, honestly, we're meant to come down here eventually anyway, so... And, I'm gonna focus on trying to get Birdie to float properly and conserve his energy.
So that sounds like a very mahogany thing to do. Like, we were supposed to come down here. We're exactly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Birdie and Windy take 1 level of exhaustion if you're just treading water waiting for your companions. Because it takes the better part of an hour before the only sound in the cave is this water hitting the pool that you're treading in. And eventually there's 3 hefty splashes as your companions make their way down into the pool as well. Who's wearing heavy armor?
Adrex.
Raazu.
Man, we're in heavy armor and we're not wearing the best heavy armor we got.
Yeah.
Gotta work on that.
Yeah, we need plate mail.
Yeah, we do. Sorry. That's another tangent.
So yeah, Raazu and Adrex, you begin to sink in this pool.
Well, I have water breathing up, so I'm not
Right?
too concerned
We're
about
not
it. But...
drowning, right? We're just sinking.
You're sinking, but
Right.
I mean,
You're iron bootsing your way to the bottom of this.
Okay.
yeah,
what's
yeah, you know,
disconcerting
try
is
to-
you see the blue glow of Windy's torch fading very fast above you.
Oh, I'm gonna
back
swim
up to
down
the
after them.
You're gonna go down with them?
Yeah, Roz is gonna pull back up toward the surface where Windy is.
Well, you can't. You're in heavy armor.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you can't swim in heavy armor. It's too heavy. You can doff the armor, or you can just sink and hope for the best.
Yeah, so I'm swimming after you, and, like, if this turns out that we can't find an exit down here, then you can take your stuff off, hand it to me, and we'll kind of spread it out amongst us.
Mhm.
Okay.
So seeing all of this going down as Red hits the edge of the waterfall and just barely, like, blood floating out of his mouth in front of his eyes, just barely conscious. He'll swim over to the nearest wall, pull out his climbing kit, and start trying to hammer a pit underwater to run a rope down from.
You got dark vision out to 60 feet, yes?
Yep.
From the point where you hit, you don't see the walls in the center of this pool. You're going to have to strike out in one direction or another.
I'll choose whatever direction I'm facing.
Okay. So 4 of you are going down, and Red, you're headed off into... Roll a d8.
No,
Certain darkness.
Birdie's just sitting there. He's
You're
just
gonna
floating.
Birdie's just-
He's
Continue to try. Okay.
Which is good.
slightly concussed.
Since I can see Birdie from here, I won't go more than 60 feet away from there, so I'll have 120 feet.
Okay, just roll a d8.
I got a 3.
3.
Oh, you rolled dragon.
Red,
Dragon turtle.
you don't find a wall.
Okay.
You do, however, find a dragon turtle. Roll initiative.
Okay.
You think you see something. You think you see the edge of the pool.
Nice.
You think you see the point where the water stops, but it's hard to tell because it's still a good ways away from you. And looking back, you're maybe equidistant between that point and Birdie.
Does the pool act before 24?
Oh, the pool's already acting. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make a note of which way Birdie is. I'll yell, I'm just going to swim a little bit further. I think I see the edge, and I'll swim in that direction.
And after a few moments of swimming, I mean, when you put your hand out to touch the edge, you're expecting it to slap down on stone or earth, but instead you hear the dull thump of wood, and you realize there's like an ashen gray. You're in darkness, so everything's gonna look gray to you, but wooden planks kind of shackled together in what looks like a makeshift dock. And you manage to pull yourself up onto it. Feels very rickety. Like it's supporting your weight. Is there a pylon?
Yeah.
Moving along this dock for a few moments, you can see where it doesn't look like it's attached to anything going down in the water. Instead, it's kind of been lashed with chains to heavy spikes pounded into the shore here. And there's not even a lot of shore. Like, there's just barely enough room for you to stand before you do find the wall of the cave.
Is the shore rocky here?
It is, yes. It's rocky, but you don't have a lot of rock to stand on. The water goes almost all the way up to the wall.
Okay. What I'm going to do in that case is tie my rope to the end of one of these spikes.
Okay.
And then I'll spend a minute or two trying to do the best I can to get a really good solid knot. And then if I tie my 2 ropes together, I've got 240 feet, so I'll start swinging back towards where I started.
See, this is why we need a rope use proficiency. Unfortunately. You guys down in the pool. How long do you allow yourselves to sink before you take any kind of other action?
I would say a minute before Raazu starts trying to pull parts of armor off.
Okay, so a minute before you doff your armor?
It's less than that.
Yeah, I think like after like 12 seconds, I'm gonna start slapping at Adrex's arm.
I
Like,
want
hey.
We're gonna call it wisdom nature from each of you. I don't know if this is the proper skill, but I can't think of a better one because there's no rope use. Otherwise, I would just call it rope use.
Wisdom nature, eh?
Yep.
Sleight of hand.
That is a 8.
20.
That is a
Raazu.
23.
Something very unnerving happens to you. You know that you're sinking, but you reach a point where you no longer like feel the pull of the water. You feel just kind of weightless and floating in this water. And after a few moments you realize you're not entirely sure which direction is up anymore. And this is the point where you're starting to think it might be time to doff this armor and figure something out.
Oh. I mean, Adrex was doffing regardless.
So let's go over your guys' character sheets and actually figure out what you're going to have to drop if you want to swim. Because Adrex in particular has very heavy brewing supplies at all times. You're not swimming with those, buddy.
Yep. All right.
What kind of armor are you guys wearing?
Chainmail.
Same.
Okay.
None.
Windy, are you carrying anything exceptionally heavy?
Maybe my longbow? No, that doesn't seem heavy. Long sword?
Your weapons and stuff are probably fine. The thing is, like, your
That's
longbow
it.
and your sword...
I don't carry anything heavy.
Gotcha. But yeah, your sword, they're going to be secured to your body in a way that's not going to hamper your mobility.
Yeah. So I can help you guys. You can pass some stuff off to me, whatever's most valuable.
What is Windy's strength score?
It's 10.
10?
Yeah.
Windy. So let's ask this. What are you guys trying to carry with you? You're not going to be able to move while wearing the armor, but you might be able to carry the armor with you depending on how well you roll.
Armor, for sure.
So your chainmail?
Armor. Yeah.
Raazu, is there anything exceptionally heavy that you're going to drop?
No, I don't really think I have anything exceptionally heavy. I mean...
Okay. I mean, just your halberd.
climbers...
Basically.
Yeah,
So...
If you got, like, climbing spikes, rope, that kind of stuff, that's not going to be heavy enough. But your heavy armor and Adrex's brewing supplies. So you got 3 heavy objects you're trying to swim with.
So, I don't want to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was originally decided that Adrex would be the pack mule.
Yes.
But looking at the party inventory, he's only carrying 3 things of the parties. So apparently Birdie is carrying everything.
Yeah, Birdie's carrying all the magic.
He's got all the scrolls and wands. I do have a list of who's carrying what magic, yes.
Scrolls and wands, at least, are very light.
It is basically just Adrex's armor and the brewing supplies.
Okay, so you guys have 3 heavy items you need to carry. There's 3 of you. I will let you make a strength athletics check to attempt to swim while holding one of these heavy objects if you want all 3. Who wants to go first?
Adrex.
What are you carrying?
His armor.
So who did you handed the brewing supplies off to? Windy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is totally a thing Adrex would do. That is a 21.
21.
Here, hold my beer.
So Raazu, you're holding your chainmail bundled up under one arm, trying to swim. Go ahead and make that strength athletics check.
Yeah, Raazu's also carrying her armor. That is a 14. Does that pass?
14, maybe. We'll see. And Windy, you're carrying Adrex's brewing supplies.
I mean, I'm giving a go of it.
You should spend all of your blips.
You might lose some of this metal shit.
The reason I ask is because might want to spend blips on it.
I'll bring you about half. Oof, that's a 3.
So, Windy,
Yeah.
you have an option of dropping these brewing supplies or becoming lost as you attempt to swim.
Yeah, I'm sorry if these brewing supplies are going. I was coming after you to make sure you made it out. You seem good.
Adrex gurgles as his brewing supplies sink to the bottom.
The good news is you don't have dark vision, so you can't actually see them sink.
No, you totally can, because I'm carrying a dim light torch. So you just see Windy shrug as, like, you pass her things, and they just fall away. She's got 1 bottle of beer left.
Yeah.
About the time Red is coming back to you, dragging this length of rope, your companions break the surface of the water nearby. Adrex looks very unhappy about something, and they inform you that, as far as they can tell, this pool has no bottom.
As far as they can tell, we have lost the brewing supplies forever. There's some miskies very tipsy right now.
So, Red, what are you doing with this rope?
So they're there when I get back to the point where Birdie was?
Yeah, when you swim back to Birdie, who's looking really exhausted treading water here.
I mean, first thing I'll do is I'll hand the rope to Birdie and say, here, climb it. There's a tiny bit of a wall. Not much space to climb on, but you can stop treading water there.
Well, I'll just go. Like, not even gonna say anything. Just gonna go.
Just grab the rope and
And
drag
I'll-
yourself along.
Yep.
And then I'll do the same thing for each of my companions as they come up.
Okay. And so each one by one, pull yourself over to this little rickety dock. There's barely enough room for all 5 of you to be on this thing at once. And every movement causes this thing to kind of shift in place.
Yeah, this thing is just floating on the surface of this.
Red's gonna
more or less.
It's a really low ceiling for a dock to be, and then I guess we're in an underground lake.
Yeah, if Raazu stands up on this dock and puts her hand up, she can pretty much touch the ceiling from here.
It's not a low ceiling when you consider the lake appears to be bottomless. Red will flatten himself against the tiny bit of ledge that goes along between the rock wall and the water.
Okay.
Just to rest for a few minutes, and I'll say, all right, I think there's maybe enough space here for us to move single file along the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I'll untie my rope and put it back in my pack, too.
Okay. Adrex, you have nothing to drink.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's okay.
So you guys take a minute to catch your breath, and what's next?
I'll get over the loss somehow.
Wendy's doing her best to appear like she feels bad about this. But in actuality, she's like, wait a second, you carried what into that river?
Birdie just goes to sleep.
Birdie's gonna lay down on this little dock and go to sleep.
Birdie,
Yep.
no.
He grew up in a swamp. He's fine.
Is everybody taking a rest?
Yeah, I could use a nap.
Go ahead and take the benefits of the short rest.
I'm gonna burn some hit dice while that's happening. After getting dashed against rocks, I'm pretty sure everyone else could do the same. Let's see, 10 plus 8 equals maximum hit points.
Oh, yeah, that's just as much damage as I took.
By the way, just in case you guys, in the very first session, decided you didn't like Huyan and you wanted to just kill everything there, I actually had her cave mapped out. So you could have gone down here and looted all that stuff in the first session.
Oh, nice. Oh, is this Huyan's
Yeah,
cave?
it's Huyan's cave. All right.
Well, not anymore.
No, it's just another cave.
After you've taken your rest, striking out single file along this wall, eventually you find where the wall turns sharply in one direction. And testing the water in this place, it's still very cold, but you can feel it flowing out from the pool and out into what seems to be an underground river. Maybe a good... Well, it depends. Do you continue to follow the wall, or do you try to ford across the river?
I say we get out onto some dry land, and then Adrex and I can get dressed.
So where did we come from on this map?
Don't worry about that yet.
Okay.
That seems fun.
So you're going to continue to follow the wall. Did Raazu and Adrex put their heavy armor back on? Or still carrying?
That's as soon as we get to dry land, that's when we put our armor back on.
Okay. The 6 or 7 inches of stone that you're maneuvering on now, you're not counting that as dry land for this purpose?
Correct.
Okay. Continue moving down this river. Who is in the first position?
I think
As
Red.
it would be. Oh,
Oh, do you want to go first? You're not even wearing any armor.
that's true. Yeah,
And
you
you
can go first.
So
Yeah, I'm
let's-
gonna go with red, and I'm going to
So red
strap.
is first.
Yep.
Who's behind red?
I'm gonna be behind red.
Okay, just go ahead and line yourselves up along that wall.
Where's this wall?
Yep.
Sorry.
I'm gonna strap that dim light torch to my arm.
Okay. And Red, you move what seems like a couple hundred feet through this cave. You've got Wendy's torch at your back. You can still see pretty good. You've got a good 60 feet of dark vision in front of you. Birdie's bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
Ooh, dragon turtle. That was a bad idea. Red, you start hearing ahead of you echoing through the cave, it sounds like a banging sound, like something striking stone repeatedly and irregularly.
But can you dance to it?
Are you going to try? You don't have a whole lot of space on this.
What's your jazz proficiency?
I mean, I think I'll just kind of motion to everybody else to kind of be quiet, and I'll say I'm going to slip ahead a little bit and take a better look.
Make a perception check.
Sure. That would be a 13.
A 13? You try to focus on the sound, and it's very echoey, but it sounds like wood hitting stone with a very small amount of force over and over again, somewhere in front of you. Continue towards the sound?
Yeah, I'm going to try and sneak ahead as quietly as possible. There's really no place to hide visibly, but...
Do you move far enough that you can no longer see your companions behind you?
Yeah, I want to move basically 60 feet ahead of where Wendy is right now.
Okay.
How far can I see that torch, though?
Probably until you turn around a bend.
Yeah,
probably
so I'll just keep...
break line of sight.
Yeah, so I'll keep going until about 100 feet at the most.
You're not actually moving along this wall yet. I just had to establish marching order. But
sure.
Trust me, you don't want to move along this wall alone.
Okay.
But no, you identify the source of the banging. It looks like a tiny, like ramshackle boat, like a little just wooden skiff, and it's just banging up against one of the stones. The current has caught it in such a way that it kind of got stuck, and it's just kind of whacking the side of the wall over and over. Tiny, tiny boat, easily too small to be comfortably piloted by you and your companions. You think maybe 2 birdie-sized creatures would be able to pilot this little boat.
Okay. And there's no other signs of movement here?
There's no other signs of movement, no. But right now you're about 50 or 60 feet away from this boat.
Okay. I'll move my way back to my companions, let them know that, and I think as a group we'll just continue on unless anyone has any objections.
Okay.
Are there guild kobolds?
Didn't I fire you?
I don't remember that.
That doesn't sound like something I do?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I finally get to close the Afal encounter lists. That feels good.
Nope, it's coming back. We're fighting there. Final boss.
Whatever you're about to fight here, you train them all the way back to Afal.
Uh-huh. They're going to pat.
Where you make your stand.
They make it about halfway back, and then they hit the end of their pat distance. Turn around.
All right. Let us roll initiative.
What? Are you sure?
I am positive, friend.
Boy, can't I have that initiative I rolled against the non-existent dragon turtle instead?
No, because then you'd have to go first. Going first on initiative is a trap.
I'll say yes as long as you're willing to commit to fighting the dragon turtle.
Alright, I'll be a 5. That's fine. This is fine.
Okay.
I'm telling you, going first is a trap. You don't want to go first.
I like going first in the campaign I'm playing on Saturdays, just because I run in to engage the monsters, and then our sorcerer goes, "Why do you do that every time?"
Yeah,
there are guild kobolds. Joke's on you. You're gonna have to split up those colors.
I don't care. I
do, however, see the colors.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you guys always see the colors when I first spawn them in. It's when I change the colors of them manually that we run into trouble.
Don't do that.
Alright, did you guys arrange your initiative order there?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
As long as we have a workaround. Oh, I got so mad at the timekeeping place at work. I told them they had a bug in their timekeeping software, and I told them about it, and they said, "Oh, you have to do this," which was a workaround that I had already figured out for myself. And I said, "Yeah, I know, don't worry. I was just letting you know about the bug." And they responded to me, "There are only 24 hours in a day. This is how you solve it." It's like, no, you fix your software is how we solve it.
And then you got fired for insubordination.
My boss was like, "That's bullshit. We have to fix our stuff. We can't just say there's only 24 hours in a day."
So, Red.
Mm-hmm.
Moving back up the ledge to where the boat is.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this little outcropping of rock right here that's spilling out into the river. So there's no sidling around this. You'll have to swim to get around this obstruction. But on the other side is where this boat is wedged in place, banging against the rock.
Okay.
And do we have any passive perceptions below 10?
Nope.
Is that possible?
If you were really bad.
Yeah, if you have a negative wisdom score like my fighter.
Do we have
does.
any negative scores?
Nope.
No, there were no negative scores in the one good array, right? It was
Yeah.
an 8.
Then all
No,
of
it
you
wasn't.
are aware of movement in the water, in the river here, at this point. Very nearby, like right in this area here, where this boat is. And that's going to bring us to Birdie is up first.
I mean, I'm just going to ready in action to shoot something if it jumps out to attack us. That's it. Just jumps out to attack Red since he's in the lead.
So if something attacks Red, you're going to shoot it?
Yes.
Windy.
Same. For all I know, this is some kind of like water race that's friendly.
Okay.
But I've learned my lesson.
So if something attacks Red,
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
okay.
Red is our guinea pig.
That's fine. Are these
It's
green, Brick Red?
Yes.
Okay.
These are green. I'm going to shrink them slightly.
I gotta change.
Okay. These are 5-foot squares, by the way.
Look at my armor class plummet.
Yep, same here. Need to do that real quick. This isn't the first time this has happened, though.
That's a lot of things. It's a lot of boys.
We're going to start with Birdie.
Oh, it's my turn again?
No, it's my monster's turn.
Oh, okay.
That's
They all,
weird.
they all have 10-foot reach, but nobody is surprised because nobody dumped wisdom.
I think they did dump wisdom. It's just the lowest was a 10.
Nobody
Birdie.
dumped wisdom enough.
I have a 16
Yes.
and an 11.
No.
6 points of bludgeoning damage,
I'm going to half that.
and you
I
are
don't-
grappled.
And I let out
this
a,
guy.
I let out a curse that in bad Elvish that I learned from Adrex.
Raazu.
Hey,
Elvish.
Remember, you do not have your armor on.
I have turned it off.
It's not going to matter. I rolled a 1 and a 3.
Okay, well, very well then.
Adrex.
Negative armor.
Yeah.
Not wearing your armor.
Yeah.
I have an 18. And
Yeah.
a 10.
Yeah.
Wait, a 10 will hit you without your armor on?
Yep.
A 10 is my AC.
Yeah, if he doesn't have any decks.
Birdie.
I have 0 decks.
While you're grappled, you're also restrained, I forgot to mention. Don't worry, Adrex is about to join you. Adrex,
Yeah.
6 points bludgeoning damage from the first tentacle, 5 points from the second tentacle, and you are grappled by this man and restrained.
Wait, tentacle?
Tentacle.
Ah,
Windy. I
I don't have my legs.
I have a 9
Nah.
and a 23.
Yeah, 23 on it.
Take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
You are grappled and restrained by that man.
Gonna be real bummed out when they find out we all have water breathing.
And Red, I got 2 guys on you. So this triggers no held actions because both people with held actions are currently restrained, yes?
That's bad again. No, I'm just kidding.
Red, I've got a 5,
Nope.
an 8,
Nope.
another 5,
Nope.
and a 9.
Nope.
As these 2 guys in the front. Now, these creatures, when they break the water, you just see this gray, pallid, slimy skin. And they're humanoid-ish? They have what looks like arms, but as they lash out at you, they're not clawing at you. the way Huyan might with her arms. You realize their arms are boneless, and they just come at you in these tentacles. And those of you who have been grappled, they wind around you, and it doesn't feel particularly strong. It doesn't feel like you're being crushed, but chances are good they're going to try to drag you underwater. And that's going to bring us to... Let me see if I've got advantage on restrained people. I think.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
We have disadvantage to attack.
Nice, nice. Well, Adrex, it's your turn, and you are grappled and restrained.
I'm gonna breathe on it.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna breathe on him.
Breathe on him. That you can definitely do.
Yeah.
I will give you any two of these 5 guys.
I want the 2 that are grappling, if that's fine.
I think everybody's grappled except Raazu and Red.
All right, so
Get the boy on me.
yeah, it's going to be the one that's grappling me and the one that's grappling. So I guess the 2.
And that's a dexterity save.
That is a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's worse for them.
DC is 14.
14. 2 fails.
All right.
Light that boy.
Level
3
6.
points. Cold damage.
Don't say that, Nodal.
It's 6 points of cold
6 points. And which 2 did you decide on?
The one's grappling me and Wendy.
So him and him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 3.
Could have rolled an 18.
And how much damage do we do?
6.
6 cold damage. Okay. And you lash out with your dragon breath, and you coat these things with ice. Excuse me. And they squeal out in pain with this horrible, echoey, gurgling voice that echoes off the walls of the cave. And they're both bloodied, believe it or not.
No, so much for stealth.
No moving for you. All right. Adrex is grappled.
Still a good option.
And
That's
Adrex
correct.
is the most dangerous by far, as anybody knows.
I don't know what you're
Dangerous.
talking about. I only just breathe cold on them.
Adrex,
Yeah.
I have an 8,
No.
I have a 23,
Yeah.
and I have a 20.
Just hits.
Just hits. 5 points piercing damage from the first crossbow bolt,
Wait.
and 5 points from the second crossbow bolt.
Wait.
And these bolts
Crossbow
come
bolt.
flying out of the wall on the other side of this river.
Cool beans.
Looks like a solid... Well, it doesn't look like anything to you because you don't have vision to see across. But those of you with dark vision, just looks like a solid wall. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Adrex takes 2 crossbow bolt hits.
I'm taking a piss.
No, don't. I'm next to you.
Red,
Mhm.
you are not grappled or restrained.
Nope. Is this, I moved everybody onto the grid. Is this accurate?
Accurate enough.
That seems
yeah, that's
good.
fine.
Okay. I'll yell out in Abyssal, release them, and we won't kill any of you. Do they respond at all?
They do not. In fact, it looks like
Alright, then.
it looks like these creatures are just going to drag your friends down into the water. That's what happens.
This one was cold breathed, right?
Yes, that one's currently got Adrex.
So it gets to make a DC 16 Constitution save.
Which it does not even come close to.
So Red does something you've never seen before, where he rears back and spits poison at him for 12 poison damage.
12 poison damage. Adrex, you are no longer grappled. Oh, you're peeing. It doesn't matter.
He's peeing.
He's peeing. Yeah, it's fine.
As a bonus action, Adrix was freed.
Yes.
I'll give Adrix a bonus to his next attack against the one that's grabbing Windy. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So you fill this thing's face up with poison, and it screeches out again. You see its tentacles go limp. kind of slide off Adrex's form as this thing just slumps down in the water and begins to sink. Raazu, you were also not grappled.
I have a reach weapon, so I'm going to take a swipe at the thingy that has Birdie.
Okay.
Does a 24 hit?
It does.
Thank you. You're my favorite.
Yeah, I'll put some Paladin stink on that. Just because I want to be able to knock this out so Birdie can act.
Just because he's your favorite.
Probably not. That's only 4 slashing damage, 7 radiant.
And you slice through this thing, and it is definitely bloodied. Birdie is very close to being free once again. Moving or staying?
I'll take another swing then.
Okay.
Oh, well then. That's a nat 20.
That is a nat 20, okay.
I won't put Paladin stink on this. I'll just... Because if he's bloodied now, that means I get a decent damage roll.
There you go.
There you go. That's 16 more slashing damage.
And Birdie is freed as you cleave this thing's tentacles off. And the water at this point is starting to get very dark with the blood of these creatures as you're severing their tentacles and chopping them in half. Which means it's also, very tellingly though, it's not getting any warmer.
Staying put.
Well, actually, it's getting a little warmer because Birdie has also peed himself again. So, slightly warmer. Birdie, you are no longer grappled or restrained.
Okay, did Birdie see where the crossbow bolts came out of? That's
yeah.
within 60 feet. Yeah, okay.
I mean, to your eyes, it just looks like the wall on the other side of the river, but crossbow bolts definitely came out of there.
I'm going to shoot the wall.
Shoot the wall?
Yeah, just...
Okay, you fire an arrow at the wall, and you hear it clatter off and hit the water.
That's distressing and disappointing.
And what is your passive perception?
19.
19? Okay. Moving or staying put?
I mean, there's not really anywhere to move to, so I'll just stay put.
Ah, you can swim.
No, I'm not jumping in the water with the tentacle monsters. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Seems like cowardice to me.
Speaking of cowardice, that brings us to Wendy. Wendy is still currently grappled by this man.
Yeah, I'm going to take a shot at him. Get my 2 dice for my disadvantage.
Never heard someone so pleased about disadvantage.
You know.
I mean, if I could impose super disadvantage, I would, because technically he's fighting a monster he's in melee with.
That's 10.
A 10 does not hit.
Let's try again.
Okay. Are you using the orc longbow you stole?
Oh, I'm using that fancy new magic longbow, I hope. That's an 18.
18. It is difficult to get an angle because, I mean, you're trying to twist against this thing's tentacle. The first shot just goes nowhere. The second shot you put right into this thing.
Oh. No, that's fine. For 5?
For 5 points. Not quite enough to kill it, but between the ice breath and this arrow...
So I'm in melee with it? Can I martial art it?
No, because you don't have a 10-foot attack, and he does.
I have a whip.
Not already you don't, because you're holding a longbow. You're not moving anywhere, so that's going to bring us back to... So everybody is free except for Wendy.
I'm going to key point dodge.
Key point dodge?
Yeah.
Adrex got freed? Cool.
Yes. So,
Yeah, the dude you grabbed you got killed.
And you have advantage against the one holding Wendy.
the one holding Wendy drags her under the water and vanishes and begins swimming away.
They can see me though, because I still got that torch tied to my arm.
That's true. And how many of these guys do I still have left? Just 3. You guys are making pretty short work of these guys. Let's start with Birdie. Birdie, I have a 19.
Yep.
I have a 13.
Nope.
Nope. 5 points of bludgeoning damage. you are grappled and restrained by this man here.
Okay. I'm going to uncanny dodge that again, because you'll be very close to killing me.
Adrex. I have 2 20s. They're not crits. They turn into 20s.
Okay. I
Trust
thought you
me.
got that 1 in 400.
You don't want to be... I got that last night with my fighter, but it was 1s. So... First tentacle, 8 points of bludgeoning damage, plus you are grappled and restrained. Second tentacle is 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay.
And you're grappled and restrained by this man here. And red.
Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, yeah.
Okay. We're good to move?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
Red, I have an 18.
Yep.
And a 21.
Yep.
The first tentacle is 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Let's go ahead and half that one.
And the second tentacle is 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
3, 5. Okay.
And Raazu, you find yourself very much alone as all your companions are grabbed by tentacles, dragged down into the water as these things begin speeding away with their meal.